This is about the people that we get sucked in by. Hello, it's me, Becky. This is Spoony Squared, and I've been away for a little while. I've had a really busy autumn, and I haven't had a chance to make any videos and to upload any videos. But over this time, I have had a chance to engage with more people on YouTube and to see more people getting benefit from the content that I'm putting out. So I thought it's about time I got back up here and started making some more content again. So I'm going to dive into a topic that's really important to me, and actually it has been triggered by a situation that I've been in. So this is about the people that we get sucked in by as autistic people. So I have had a pattern over my working life in particular, whereby I have consistently ended up in situations where I've been manipulated, where I've been gaslit, where I've been bullied, where I've just really struggled with specific people. And these are people who have ended up kind of getting their claws into me, and I have not been able to get away from for a long period of time. And I thought that was kind of normal, but I think as I've got older and I've realized that there are coping strategies for this, and there's things that we can do, that it's not actually that normal. In fact, a lot of people are very good at kind of breaking those ties and not getting involved with people who are somewhat shady. And when you look in the research, people will tell you that the reason autistic people get sucked in by manipulative people is because we can't read people. So it's all to do with the fact that we come across people and we just trust them, and we don't read those little signs that other people are probably able to read. There's some truth in that, for sure. However, I don't think that that is what's going on, certainly not in my case. I think that what's going on is because being autistic is such a challenge in the workplace, because overall there are cultures that don't make us fit or make us feel like we don't fit, we end up being in a situation where we don't feel like we've got a choice, where it's a case of, well, these people are kind of love bombing me essentially from a working perspective. And so I feel like I have to engage with them because there's opportunity to engage with them, because there's something exciting I'll get out of working with these people, where I've really felt like I haven't belonged in most of the rest of my work. And because I haven't felt like I belonged, my work life has felt like survival all the time. And when you're in survival mode, you're gonna grasp at anything, right? You're gonna eat a poisoned apple because you're hungry. You're going to, when you're in the workplace and you feel like you never fit in, when there's someone that makes you feel like you fit in, you're gonna jump at that chance. So for me, whenever I've been in these situations, I've been very aware of the flaws that certain people have, and as it's become more unscrupulous, I've become more and more aware that, hang on a second, I can't trust this person. This person's manipulating me. Like, I can see it, but that doesn't mean I can stop it from happening, because again, I don't feel like I have choices necessarily. So it's really important for us as autistic people to really focus in on our strengths and focus what we can bring to the party. And this is going to stop us getting into situations where we are manipulated for a long time and where we feel like we can't get out of those situations. So let's examine this a little bit further, and I'll try and give my own examples where I can. So when we are in the workplace, we struggle with certain aspects of the workplace. We know this already. There are certain things that we find challenging. For me, the social aspects have always been challenging, and it's said that there is communication related to that and communication skills, and I think for sure my communication skills were weak, but there was something that underpinned those communication skills. In particular, feeling scared to speak up, feeling scared to kind of even speak to certain people. I always felt, and this is since being in the workplace, this wasn't the case in school. In school, I felt much safer and much more like I understood the rules. When I got into the workplace, it was suddenly like there was a whole other set of rules that are all based on social capital. For me, school was all based on academic capital, and I'm like, yay, I can do that. But university onwards was not based on that. Workplace didn't feel like it was based on that. So I would feel very nervous of kind of showing myself and showing any kind of vulnerability, and that right to the point of being like, I don't even know how to say hello to people, because that's scary, because I show part of myself when I say hello to people. And so I really struggled with building relationships in that early part of my career, unless it was people who showed me some kindness, who showed me some acts of belonging. And this is really, honestly, I think this is what underpins all of this. It's belonging. It's cultures of belonging, and it solves all of these problems if there are real cultures of belonging. We don't feel like we then have to dive into the arms of the manipulators. So yeah, I had this real struggle earlier in my career, and then as I moved through my career, I've realized that I feel things a lot more. So when we talk about kind of gaslighting, so I'll give you an example of gaslighting. One thing I've realized, I was always like, no, what are you talking about? I don't get gaslit. I can see when somebody's manipulating me. But one thing that's really, really common to me is this feeling of self-doubt that has gone throughout my career. Like, I know something's true to be true in my head, but in my body, I am doubting everything. And so it's like my own reasoning, my own logic doesn't come to the fore in some of these situations, or it doesn't drive what I do, because the emotional reactions are so strong. And again, this is something that happens to me. It's like it's these either no emotional reactions, or like these such strong emotional reactions that they just drive everything you do. So it doesn't really matter that your head is logical, your head is rational. It's like you just cannot, and this is something I've been experiencing recently, like I cannot get away from these feelings, and the emotional feelings are so strong and so painful, and they just, all you're trying to do is escape those feelings, and that's all you can do in those situations. And I think so when I've been in these situations, what I've come to realize, and I've had to get out of them and then have something else happen that's made me realize this, is, so I've been in a situation recently where I know that I did everything right in this situation. What I also know is somebody else was lax in their responsibilities. And this was a situation that I was involved in, but that I did everything right. I moved away from this scenario. I had no legal responsibility anymore, had no responsibility. And then somebody else who has legal responsibility didn't do what that responsibility means that they should do. And when this all came to light, my initial feelings were just like, oh my God, I fucked up so much. What could I have done in this situation? I should have told this person what's going to happen now. Like, am I going to like owe loads of money? Am I going to legally have responsibilities here? And my brain, like, very quickly, and also other people around me were like, no, definitely not, you're fine. But the panic in me was coming from the fact that this other person was kind of implying that they weren't in the know about things, and that they, again, trying to kind of pass the buck towards me. And even though my rational mind knew it was okay, my body was just like so overwhelmed with the stress. And to me, like, that, suddenly I was like, like, I'm being gaslit. I'm doubting everything I know to be true about this situation, and it's bypassing my brain, and it's going into my body, and I'm having these big emotional responses to it, when actually, like, I haven't done anything wrong in this situation, and really, like, I shouldn't even be involved in this situation anymore, but I'm getting sucked into it, and perhaps this other person isn't even intending, I don't know, to make me feel that way, but I do feel that way. And so it's really interesting to kind of start to delve underneath the surface on some of these things. So I realized that this was something that was happening to me all the time in the past, and because I didn't have the perspective, I hadn't done all the work to really look at my own strengths, at my own capabilities, I hadn't done a lot of inner work, I was spending most of my time being stressed, that when these things happened, it just was so overwhelming, and I didn't know how to get out of those situations. Ultimately, it's taken me finding the right people to surround myself with, to have the right support mechanism, and to have the right kind of balance in my work day to day to be able to keep me stress-free, keep me focused on the things I'm good at, keep me focused on delivering, you know, like just delivering good work, enjoying my work, doing work that includes special interests. All of that is great, and it stopped me from being in these situations where I'm just focused on kind of the other people and being involved in these kind of very toxic working situations. Like I said, I personally do not think that this is, for me anyway, to do with my ability to read people or not read people. And maybe it is. Maybe other people would remove themselves from these situations very early on. But like I said, I don't remove myself from the situations even when they're difficult, because I feel like I need to be in them for survival reasons, because they provide opportunities for me to make money, to develop my career, to develop skills, whatever else it is, develop credibility. But I've realized by having my own self-awareness and my own self-advocacy, knowing that actually I need to be healthy, I need to focus on my own needs, I need to focus on having the right people around me, I need to focus on the work that I have. Thank God I'm in a position now where my work is good, that I really enjoy my work, I'm working with other people that I enjoy working with, and so I'm able to kind of very quickly recognize what's going on and move on from it. And so I think this development of self-awareness is such an important part of this process, and leaning into those things that bring you joy, leaning into the people who can support you, because I'm not the problem in this situation, like, and you're not the problem if you find yourselves in these situations. Like, you are not the problem. It's not that you're not good enough. It's not that you haven't done what you're meant to have done. The only thing that you're doing that should be different is not allowing yourself to be sucked into these things, which, even saying that, I'm like, I know that's impossible, because I know what it felt like, and I've been experiencing it over the last few days, of where like something happens and just your whole life drains from you, and whatever you can do, your brain like will not switch off from thinking about this one situation that's difficult. But what I've also found is, by having the self-awareness, by being able to know the signs, by throwing myself into the work that I actually enjoy doing, even if I kind of feel like I'm not doing it at my best, because I'm so kind of consumed and exhausted by this other situation, it's meant that I can move through it more quickly. So it doesn't make it go away totally, but it's like knowing I'm not the problem. Like, I didn't do anything wrong here. I've got to just have some self-care, focus on the things that are good for me, and that's helping me to get out of this situation. So let me know if you've ever been in situations like this, when you feel like you're consistently manipulated by people, you feel like because you're autistic, you're kind of in the frying pan, in the fire, going from the frying pan to the fire, which is what I feel like it's been like. Let me know, because I'm really interested to hear what else, you know, other people are experiencing around this, and let me know if if it's helping you to be more self-aware and to understand what's going on, and then to build your support system of people who are genuine people. And maybe we'll do another video on that, like how do we even know who's genuine. I think it's about like really trusting yourself as soon as you know those signs in your head. And even if you think, I can't walk away from this because it's such a good opportunity, like know that actually you have to walk away from this, and there will be other good opportunities out there for you. There absolutely will be. So that's my take on that. I'd love to know, like I said, if you've been in this situation, let me know in the comments, and it's good to be back.